Alright, so today is Monday. Went ahead and got the 40 pounds of the Rebels Tall Fescue. Now let me talk to you a little bit about grass seeds. So when you look on the back of the grass seeds, and every grass seed, it's going to talk about what is in this grass seed. Like as you can see on this one, it has Tall Fescue. Number one seed is a creeping red fescue. And down here you got some bluegrass, you got some other fescues in here, but mainly in their deep shade is a tall fescue. So what is this? Mainly it's Rebel Extreme Tall Fescue, Rebel Tall Fescue, Pennington Tall Fescue. It's Tall Fescue. So you can see here what this is. But you always want to look at these percentages, alright? So people will talk about how, you know, put down as much grass seed as you can because of the germination rate. And some people, I see a lot of reviews out there, and some will have bad reviews. Now, when you look at a grass seed review, you gotta take into consideration that some people don't know how to prepare for grass seed to go down and to grow. And preparation, like we were talking about in part one, is key. So going through and dethatching really good, mowing low, breaking up any crazy areas that have a lot of thatch and stuff like that, breaking up the ground in certain areas, putting down some organic material, all those things, doing the core aeration, all those things are going to lead to success. If you put in a good effort, you're going to get a decent result. If you're just going to throw this on the ground and water it, you're not going to get a good result. So by and large, what we're doing is a tall fescue. When I just went to Home Depot to grab some more soil, I noticed before I left, I looked at this real quick because I don't want to go back. Their dense shade is what I was actually looking for. So their dense shade has a bunch of tall fescue in it. And I'm doing a tall fescue kind of lawn. Their sun and shade mix, which was the one that I was talking about, has a bunch of other crap in it, like bluegrass and more. It doesn't have as much tall fescue. So, plus the areas I'm talking about are pretty hardcore with shade. So right underneath trees, you got a tree line. It's not getting that much sun. So we're gonna go with tall fescue and the dense shade, mostly tall fescue for those areas. As far as the size goes, my backyard is like 6,500 square feet. So that's one bag. This says up to 5,000 square feet. So you gotta do your square footage, right? Then you gotta look at the back and you gotta look at how much you're gonna put down. So this says up to 5,000. So whatever you see on the front of this is gonna be their absolute least amount of coverage. So if they can find some sort of a spreader out there that magically doesn't use that much, then they'll be able to say it seeds up to 5,000. You gotta do math, you gotta look at things, you gotta look at how much you're gonna put down. Are you reseeding, overseeding? If you're overseeding, you can put a little bit less down than if you're newly seeding something completely. So for overseeding, you're gonna get probably close to what this is, but if you're doing brand new seed, you're not gonna get close to that 5,000. So I got this here, I got most of the soil done. My front yard I wanna do, so what I'm doing is I'm doing my front yard on one side that comes back to the backyard. And then I'm not doing the front yard on the other side and the other side, just the backyard out to the front on this side. So I gotta do a lot of soil over there, so that's why I got some more soil. And I'll show you that tomorrow. But tonight I'm pretty much wrapped up. Got a bunch of stuff filled in and got the right seed. So that's what we're gonna do. The plan is to do the core aeration, do 2 passes, maybe 3 passes, get a lot of holes in the ground, go through and put the grass seed down, then put the fertilizer down, then put peat moss on top of it. Now that we're talking about peat moss, I realize I didn't pick it up at Home Depot, an extra bag of it. So I guess I'll do that tomorrow. But I'll just sprinkle the peat moss over top, and that does a few things. So it adds some organic material. It also sits on top of the seeds as a light coating, and when you water it, it's going to keep the seeds down so the wind, and it kind of deters birds and stuff from getting in and taking the seed away from you. So the peat moss will help in many different aspects. Some people use straw, you can use whatever you want. I just like to sprinkle the peat moss on. So I need to get another peat moss, and then tomorrow's another day. The reason I backed it off, so I originally was gonna do this today, but yesterday, Saturday, which was the day that I did all the work I did, that night was 38 degrees at night. Last night was 35 degrees. Tonight's 30 some degrees. And then it's gonna pick up and be warmer during the day and warmer at night. So it's gonna be closer to 50 at night and then 70, 75 during the day. So we had like a little 3-4 day window of a little bit colder at night. So I didn't want to put the seeds down. I want to be able to water it and get it going. So I backed it off a few days. You got to do that when you're working with fall weather that's kind of up and down. So now, the fun part. Alright, so now it's time to lay down the grass seed. As you can see, pulled up a lot of plugs. Not exactly super deep, probably I got an inch or so. I could have put more weight on there, and also it's not exactly super wet. You don't want it super wet, you don't want it super dry, but you know, this is going to be enough to go ahead and get the grass seed in the ground and do its job. You don't need the grass seed to be 3 inches in the ground. So this was a good exercise, and I tried to wet it last night a little bit, but I guess I didn't do enough. So but it's good enough for laying the grass seed down, getting a little bit of aeration going on. So let's hit that grass seed. Then fertilize lightly. All right, we're all done except for watering. This is probably the worst that my lawn has looked ever. But you know, as the Joker once said, the original Joker, not the original, but the second one, Jack Nicholson, you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet. So we are breaking some eggs. So the order that we went in today was, we went through and we did the core aeration. We punched a lot of holes in here, probably a triple pass, and then went ahead and put the seed down. Then fertilizer. I did some lime in areas where there are pine trees below or above, and then threw some peat moss over top of most of it. I didn't get to a lot of the yard back here, but out front I did the whole thing, and then back here where all the new seed, where all the new areas are, with sod, I don't want to say sod, with soil, I went ahead and hit that with the peat moss. So the core aeration, the seeding, the fertilizing, and throwing some peat moss on top is done. I'm absolutely exhausted. And I think we're gonna have a good result. So the next 2 weeks, no mowing, just watering every single day, and making sure that that area where the seeds are is moist all the time. So it's not so much like how much you have to do. If you have like a sprinkler, you know, for 20 to 25 minutes an area, you want to get like half an inch. So I will check back in 2 weeks. I'll take some pictures maybe every day, every other day, just to kind of show you, you know, what it looks like. The front yard has way more areas that need filled in, because when we bought the house, they expanded the driveway, so there was this area that just got messed up from them doing that, and then they just didn't make it exactly even, and even what I did wasn't exactly even, but it was better, and it just never filled in right, and it was bumpy and everything. So hopefully I evened that out a little bit better. I filled in the parts in the backyard better, and the yard overall will be good to go for the springtime, and it'll be filled in more, and that's what I'm looking for. I just want the yard to be filled in more with more grass seed and less you know, spots that don't have grass. Mainly because when I do post weed control, I just want to spray the yard down, and I don't have to worry about stuff that's green, that's not grass, making it brown because I don't have a thick lawn. So see you in 2 weeks. We'll see what the results are. I'm gonna go take some pictures, and if you guys are doing this, go ahead and tag me on social media and stuff. I never really promote that stuff, I guess, as much as I should, but ooh, I guess dinner's coming soon. So if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Hopefully this is helpful. And it's not really that you have to be super on top of things. If you give a good effort, you're gonna get a pretty decent result. So until next time, later.